Hi guys, obviously as Richard said, I'm from the Treby Arms in Sparkwell, and we have our sister restaurant, the Springer Spaniel in Treby that we've just purchased, obviously due to winning MasterChef. Basically today I'm going to do a couple of new dishes. We've basically, the Treby Arms is a gastropub with a feel of being at home. That's what I always wanted to do, and that's why we bought the pub. The food's probably a little bit pretentious what we do, but at the end of the day, I'm my own boss and I can do what I want. That's the difference between chains and stuff like that. They don't get held back and they get told what they can and can't do. But within that, it's all got to taste good and be seasoned correctly, and there's got to be loads of love involved. So one dish that we've had on the menu since we started, and it's probably one of my most signature dishes, is a pigeon Wellington. Now, this is a 2-day process. We water bath these for 48 hours at 39 degrees. So basically it breaks down any toughness in the pigeon. It's not one of the pigeons that are flying around here today. I can guarantee where they're shot 2 miles away from the pub. And then we wrap it in a mushroom puree that's made out of selected wild mushrooms that we use, and then a Devonshire cured select ham as well. And then we wrap it in phyllo pastry. Wait for that to go, guys. So this is basically our take on a Wellington. So we first of all start this off. I'll take a little bit of soil out for you. Just on a lightly pan, just to get colour around the outside of the pigeon. And we'll basically finish this near enough all in the pan. I've got some lovely morel mushrooms that you could, you probably don't have to worry about this. If you couldn't ever get morel mushrooms, chestnut, butter mushrooms are just as good in flavour. They're an amazing mushroom. But because we're chefs, we like to go a little bit further reach and try and find something that's a little bit different. And they just bag a real mushroomy punch of flavour. And I'll probably end up cooking most of this in this one pan. So there's not much cleaning going on. It's all in one pan because all the flavour will go into that one dish, and we'll finish everything off. We've also got this is a chicken stock that we make with chicken feet, chicken wings, and the top thighs of the chicken. So it's really in juice. We don't use any veal jus anymore, because it's not clawing on the palate. It's a real cleansing jus, and that's what we've taken back from using the old process and gone into new. Has anyone ever made stock at home? Yeah, so much better than Oxo or anything like that, and you can make big batches and freeze it down. So we're just going to get colour around the pigeon all the way around the side, just to get a nice colour there, and then I'll finish that with some butter in a moment. We've also got here a quail egg that's been boiled for 1 minute and 10 seconds. It could be 1 minute and 12 seconds, depending on the egg. If the egg weighs over 18 grams, then it'd be 112. If it's under that, it's about 110, and it'll be a perfectly soft boiled egg. Then we get some black pudding from our local butcher, Philip Warren, and then we mix that with a bit of egg and we bind it to make a black pudding Scotch egg. But I've made it look like a little baby apple. The dish I'm going to be doing first is called the pigeon fell out of the apple tree. So that's the actual take on the dish. Where we have our allotments, there's loads of pigeons that we shoot, and they always seem to nick all the apple blossom around where we are. So in some aspects we like to shoot them for that reason, but I shouldn't really say that. So here I'm still getting some colour around the pigeon, and that's going to take about 6-7 minutes in this pan. The oven, we've got an oven as well, haven't we? Oh wow, look at that. So I'm going to get this going here. I've got some chicken jus. Just going to put it into this pan here. And the other dish I'm going to be doing today is a new dish that's on the menu. Is morels will go in there. We'll finish those afterwards with seasoning. I've got courgette flour. It's a little bit early in the season, but we're getting ahead to think for the new season coming in. That's summer. So we're always thinking ahead of what we're going to be doing. So for the courgette flour, if you grow courgettes, the simplest thing to grow in the ground. Plant the seed, chuck some fertilizer on them, and leave them, and you'll probably get about 200 of these grow. Don't ever get rid of these. They're amazing little thing. I'll show you a little trick. So just to cook them, all you have to do is just cross the bottom. Don't waste any of it. And I've got 2 scallops, a dash of cream, and 1 egg. Just blitzed up in a blender. And then we're just going to find a little hole inside here. And then we're just going to squeeze the whole mousse all the way into the inside. Just fill it up like that. And then basically, you could even just serve that as a dinner party. That's how simple that'll be. that with some olive oil, a little bit of tomato on top, and that's a dish within itself. And that will take 3 minutes in some boiling salted water. So we've got that going there. Also got some lovely scallops from Brixham, bloody bikers. Lovely scallops that we've got here. And then what we do, we take the roe off. We do keep the roe and we dry it out to make a powder for seasoning. Bloody hell, bikers and a band.
I tell you, you get value for money here, that's for sure.
So I've got some scallops here that I'm just going to cut straight down the middle. And the reason I do that, sometimes with a scallop you don't get a perfect caramelization if you don't cut it. But if you cut that down the center, all the natural sugars, there's so much sugar in the scallop, it just lets it release. So when we cook it into the pan, we get a lovely colour. So we've got some lovely scallops. So let's just check, see if this oil's hot. I've got no feeling in my hands. Do not do that at home, guys. Then we're just going to add some butter to the pigeon now. And when I say butter, I mean butter, yeah?
So he's a man after my own heart. Well, probably somebody else's by the end of the next 10 years, but...
So, I've got my morels that I've just softened off in the pan. And what I'm going to do with those, because they're nice and they're just broken down, I'm just going to put them onto my little tray, leave those for later on. So I'll let my butter's going to, I'm not going to try and darken it, so I'm keeping it on a low heat, because if it darkens, it's just going to burn the pastry. And this is like a beurre noisette, just a soft butter. We're just going to use the top of the butter. The reason why you take the foam from the top is because at its hottest point. So when you nappy over a steak, over a piece of pork or anything, that's where you're getting all your flavour from your juices going back into your meat. So just going to leave that on there cooking. So this is the little aspect of the scallop dish. So we've got the scallops, we've got the courgette flour, and then I've got some rabbit loin that was shot yesterday by two of my chefs. They shoot about 60% of all our animals and all our wild game is all shot by me and the chefs, because basically I'm a 2-level rifle person, so I've got the ability to go out and do that, and it's the understanding of what we're shooting day by day. So obviously the venison season's finished now. Now we're into rabbit and wood pigeon. So I've just got some lovely rabbit loins. Really long processes that you're probably bored of hearing, but this has been, we burn leeks in the oven till they're black, basically. So an unheard of thing. And then we basically blitz it to make a powder, and that's like a charcoal effect. So we're getting the charcoal from the leeks. And we're just going to poach these in some boiling water for about 2 minutes, just so they're lightly still pink. Just going to keep turning my pigeon in here. And in here I've got some air-dried pork that's boiled and then crisped up, and that's going to make crackling. So you'll see the dishes as we go on in a moment. So, how have you been, Richard? All good?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, busy as ever. Hello, that was a moment of a lull going, right, yeah. What are we going to say now for a minute? And, I mean, now you've got the Springer. I mean, that's a pub that's had a reputation for many years and sort of lost it, and then you're going to really put it back on the map. And what sort of food are you going to be doing there?
It's open all day, so it's more of a relaxed dining experience. It's not the same as the Treby, because Treby's our kind of main focus. I'm going to try and put that somewhere. Yeah, cheers, mate. Treby's our main focus at the moment, but the Springer is, everything's seasonal. All the produce that we get is the best we can get, but it's just a little bit more relaxed fare, really. And sometimes for a chef, it's hard to do. You want to go out there and do it all, but at the end of the day, I've got to remember what the Treby Arms is to me as well. So those have been in there about a minute or so, and they're ready. I'm just going to let those take out. I'm just going to let those rest on the side there in their own steam. And because they're in the clean film, they'll stay warm at home for a good 15 minutes as well, because they're just in a little packet there. Soften my sauce. And then with the sauce that we have here, in the restaurant we've added about 10% of all our stock gets finished with lemon juice in there as well. Just like an acid balance on the game as well. I don't know if it's actual pan. Oh, it is, yeah. It is doing something. So, we've got our pigeon going, our morels are done there. It's just 2 dishes. This is how it'd come in the restaurant as well. You'd be trying to get all this done. I'd just be sitting on the path shouting at people, but... we've got
no, you wouldn't. You'd be working hard and breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
That's what I used to say when I was at the Grand, yeah. We're on the pass.
So we've got some water there again, and we'll add a little bit more butter to that. And that's a good bit of butter as well. And that's just going to poach the scallop in there. And take this off, just rest it onto there. Can I have a hot pan again, please?
Yep.
Lovely, jubbly. So I've got a nice hot pan here still. And I've got some rapeseed oil somewhere, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rapeseed there.
And rapeseed oil is a really good product for the local area. It's got a high threshold for pans. It doesn't burn too easy. It's awesome for dressing. It's got a beautiful colour, and it's not Italian, it's English. So use your local supplies as much as you can. It really helps Devon move on, and we've got some of the best restaurants and some of the best chefs in the area at the moment as well. So it's not us that does it, it's the producers that are producing the amazing product for us that make a difference. Right, now I've got some oil getting hot. Hopefully that's hot enough. Yeah, I'm just going to drop my apple, black pudding, Scotch egg in there. I've got my pigeon still resting in the pan. Just a little bit of sea soap. Sea soap. Definitely sound like a Majana now. And there, we're going to add my scallops to this. Just want to get a lovely caramelisation on one side. So my little heat plate there, I'm going to my scallops. I'm going to keep just turning this. There's not enough water for that there.
As you know, so if you want, you can tempera it as well. If you want to batter it.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, we would sometimes steam this, and then just at the end, just have a breadcrumb the end, so you get like a crispy texture on the end as well. Has anyone ever cooked scallops before? You all seem like you're really tired.
They just watched me for an hour.
So there's our Scotch egg that looks like an apple. We're just going to put up here. The scallops, I've got lovely colour one side. This pigeon is going to be pink, so for some people that aren't really keen on pink meat, it's the best way to eat pigeon. Don't be scared, just close your eyes and eat. That's what I try and say to people. My dad would probably still have a fit if I told him that. He wouldn't eat at all. So there's your courgette flour stuffed with the mousse. Just going to put this up here to rest as well. I'm going to season that with some Cornish sea salt. And then just going to turn my scallops over. And then here I've just got a simple ratatouille, so it's about 7 or 8 different vegetables, based in a tomato sauce, just warmed up in the same pan as the scallops, so it takes in all the sweet flavours, and that is just basically just put to the side. So we're going to crackle up our airbag.
Now, for the uninitiated, airbag, I know what that is.
Airbag is pork crackling. So it's rehydrated, it's boiled, rehydrated, and then you get this lovely crackling from it as well. So just going to place these over here. Bloody hell, there's a lot of crackling. All right, I'm going to take that off there.
It's all right, you've got a big audience, don't worry. I'm sure it'll get eaten.
Let's leave that one down there to stay down there. So, right, it's time to plate now. I've got my ratatouille that I've cooked off. It's the vegetables. It's got a few capers in there as well. Don't worry about it being precise when you're plating food. It looks, for me, I don't like everything too, I can't describe. For anyone else to probably plate this, it looked like a road crash, but for me, it kind of works. I've got, right, let's just, I've got my rabbit loins that I've just poached off earlier. Just going to pop those out in the charcoal. Just going to place those on the plate like that. We've got a lovely bit of rapeseed oil to go over our scallop that we plated earlier. Go on, lashings of that. Just going to place that to the side. And this for me is kind of like a celebration of summer. You've got a surf and turf of lovely local rabbit loin. You've got some lovely scallops. And then for a little bit of crunch and texture, we're going to put some of the pork crackling over the plate. And then just simply just finish with a lovely bit of rapeseed oil over the top. And that is a celebration of summer for me. That's scallop mousse stuffed courgette flowers, charcoal leek rabbit loin, and seared Brixton scallops. Thank you. I thought you were about to say, that looks bloody rubbish. Right, so over here I'm going to finish off by plating My rabbit fell out of the pigeon tree. Oh, there's another scallop there for someone. Pigeon. I've got rabbit on my mind.
It's a very adventurous rabbit, I tell you.
What, it was a bloody long night last night. I finished at 1:30 last night.
I got a tweet at 1:30 from him. I was like, "What are you?" Of course, service finishes about midnight, and by the time everything was done, so
yeah. So I didn't actually get to bed until about 3:30 last night. So 3.5 hours sleep is a good night's sleep for a chef. So if any of you are thinking about being a chef, don't. So in the sauce, I've added some broad beans and potted peas. We actually take the peas out of the shell because they don't actually digest in your system. They're not actually that good for you. But we pot them just because we're really chefy and annoying.
No, the commie thinks you're annoying.
Yeah.
He has to pod them all.
Yeah, he doesn't really like me, I don't think, the commie. So then I've got my apples there. My morels and peas I'm just going to lash around the plate. Right, I'm just going to trim my pigeon up. See inside there, you've got a lovely pink, consistent meat. It's not too pink, it's not too undercooked. The sous vide breaks that down. I know how I cook that would be perfect every time. I'm just going to place those onto the plate. So we've got the apple there. And then I get a spoon. We've got some, this is really chefy now, tapioca melodroxin. So tapioca melodroxin is a tapioca powder that we mix with olive oil, toasted onion seeds, dried seaweed, and this is basically a massive hit of the fifth taste called umami. So you're adding another element to the dish, and it's basically, we don't even bother about what we're doing about it. You chuck it from up here, chuck it from down there. It's so light to the palate, and that's the rabbit, I've got a bloody rabbit on my head. That is the pigeon fell out of the apple tree, guys. And there's 2 new dishes that will be on the menu at Treby. Cheers.
Thanks, Anton. Tremendous. And I'm sure there are any questions, which I'm sure there will be, especially how that rabbit managed to get up that apple tree, or the pigeon tree even. So, no, it's great to have him here and really to come all this way. But any questions, Anton? Please, feel free to call out.
I'm starving.
You're going to get away with this.
No questions.
Oh.
What are your chances of Michelin star?
Oh.
What are the chances?
I saw Craig over there a minute ago. Where is he?
I don't know. I think any chef that says they don't want a Michelin star is lying. I don't ever search for it. We just try and better ourselves every time. And I think being consistent with your food and making sure everything tastes good. If Michelin don't see that, then they're not doing their job. But if we get a Michelin star, we get a Michelin star. If we don't, I'll still be getting up to cook every day. So it doesn't make a difference to me. I love my job. I love what I do. I love teaching young people. I love creating new dishes, and I love Devon. And that's the most important thing to me.
Any more questions? God, dude, you get that.
You can. If you went onto the internet and just typed in airbag, it would be an online product you could buy.
Yeah,
but I can sell it to you at £100 a kilo.
Yeah. Also, be careful. Airbag is not a Ford Focus airbag. Yeah. So,
yeah, you'd have to buy rehydrated pork crackling. That'd probably be the best thing to look for. Or you could make it. You went to your butcher's and asked some pork skin, boiled it, and then put it in your oven at about 80 degrees, just on. It would dry out, and then you could chop it up, and then you could just fry it in the oil as well.
There you go. Any more? Oh.
The pigeon is, and the scallop is just about to go on the menu. So if you are thinking about going to Sparkwell, I have got Treby Arms. If we are fully booked, I do have the Springer Spaniel. And the telephone number is 01752 837 363.
Yeah, it'll be flashed on the big screen in a minute behind you.
Yeah, 01752 837 363, and my wife will be taking calls.
Any more other questions? No. Well, there you go. Thanks, Anton.
Guys.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much
so
indeed.
Cheers.
Big round for Treby Arms. And